The following is a special presentation of First Horizons Green Sports Zone. This is the Tommie's Plumbing, Haun, and Sauce Show. Welcome back to First Horizons Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Tommie's Plumbing, Haun, and Sauce Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the West Green baseball and softball teams. We'll recap the last few games with the softball team and preview what's ahead in the second part of this week's edition. So we'll be right back after these messages here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone. The Tommie's Plumbing, Haun, and Sauce Show is brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan and Tommie's Plumbing. Welcome back to First Horizons Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Tommie's Plumbing, Haun, and Sauce Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the West Green Buffaloes softball and baseball teams. As always, are actually just here with softball head coach Coach Haun this week. These last two have just thrown me for a loop. If you go back and watch,
keep you on your toes.
Yeah, you all have. I will give you that.
Well, there's a smaller void today.
There is a smaller void today.
Big.
We are more up close and personal again this week, but yeah, we have a smaller member of the cast missing this week. It's because we had you missing last week, so this is the second part of last week's show. And as you can see from the intro, I am not good at coming up with intros on the fly whenever we have members of members of the set are missing, and I have to come up with new intros, and I'm just not good at it on the fly. So y'all are keeping me on my toes, and I commend you for that, because you're keeping everything interesting. It's a sunny one out here today. It's a sunglasses day.
It is. In the words of Reese Barr, that sun's been there for a million years. You gotta learn to adjust to it.
The sun is not kind to blue eyes.
It ain't. Good thing I have brown.
It makes me squint every single time. I had my hand up like this in Sauceman's show last week the whole entire time. I'm introducing the show and going to recaps, and I've got my hand up here the whole time, but I don't think it'll be that bad today. It's kind of just beating straight down on us today.
Here about 2 hours to be over across the school. Right field will be a dandy.
Your outfield will be a dandy. Hate whoever has to play out there tonight, but you do have some games tonight, or a game tonight. We've got some games to go over since the last time we've sat down. We've missed about a week and a half of action, but we don't have too much to cover. I think 3 normal regular season games and then the Tiny Day tournament. We started with a preview of Unaka in the last part of the second half that you were in. So let's discuss that game first and foremost. Unaka, you go on the road, it doesn't go your way. You suffer a 15-7 loss against the Lady Rangers. Take me through that one.
That game was a lot closer early on than what the box score indicates. We played them a lot better the second go-around than we did the first. We, first couple innings, we scratched a couple runs across. I think we had 5 2-out RBIs that game. So our 2-out hitting was a lot better. We was able to extend the innings, kind of get to the pitcher's pitch count, which we got her up, I think it was like 120, and then they switched pitchers, which kind of threw our timing off a little bit. But, I mean, we played well at times, and there's a couple times we shot ourselves in the foot. I think I've got about 2 toes left right now at this point of the season. No, we played a lot better at go-around. So, I mean, I was happy with that. Our attitude and effort and everything was all there. As long as we give them everything we got and they beat us because they're a better team that day, I ain't going to complain about it.
And then you turn into Saturday and you go right into the Tiny Day tournament. I think we had previewed the Tiny Day tournament last time. Mm-hmm. Haven't got to discuss it yet, but before we get into the games themselves, how much did you enjoy this year's edition of the Tiny Day tournament and participating in it?
It's fun to just see other teams that you normally don't get to see during the regular season. I just wish it was a little bit earlier in the year. Sit right there, you got it, and then 2 weeks later you go right back in the district tournament. So you don't get much downtime. It's go, 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 and then you're there. I mean, I enjoy it. We only played 2 games in the tournament on Sunday, but we started off with Granger, lost 8-0. But the crazy part about that game is, I mean, again, we shoot ourselves in the foot with errors. Every inning, we could have got out of the inning without a run being scored. And they ended up, by the end of it, they had only 1 earned run out of 8. And Granger's not a bad, they got a very deceiving record. I mean, they're in that conference with Greenville and everything, and they have some close games with those teams. I mean, I've told, our biggest Achilles heel is shooting ourselves in the foot. I think that last week we had 32 errors.
Wow.
And it's hard to win ball games. I think it was like a nine-game stretch. I think total we had 39 errors and had an opportunity to win 4 or 5 of those 9 games. So, I mean, we just don't shoot ourselves in the foot. We're fine. But then we turned around and played Crockett after that. I think the final was like 13-2. Again, they had 6 unearned runs. So, I mean, they only earned 7. And Crockett's a very, very good ball team. I mean, the only 2 losses Unicoi has this year is to Crockett.
And Crockett was the team that finished runner-up in the highest bracket of the Tiny Day tournament.
Oh, they won it.
You're right. They beat Cott County,
it.
yes.
I mean, we scored 2 on them, and in the first inning we had the opportunity to score 2 more. So, I mean, we got the capability to go out there and win games against tougher quality opponents. We just got to find a way to do that. We did change a little bit of the pitching up through some of the off speeders that game. It threw them off a little bit, but I mean, we just like to tell them all the time, we got to make the outs they give us. Make the outs they give us, make a couple extraordinary outs, and we'll be just fine. And that Sunday, we turned around and played Polk County. Final score was 11-5.
Correct.
And going into I think the bottom of the 6th, it was 5-4 or 5-5, something like that.
Yep.
And
you were up 5-4 after the middle of the 5th.
And we have a couple errors, and they tack on. And I think they had, when I looked, it was like 9 unearned runs. So, I mean, that game easily could have been 5-2 in our favor. And right now, they're first in their district in 2A. I think they're District 5, I think. And right now, they're first in their district. So, I mean, we can play with those teams, and once we get out of district and stuff, we just got to get there. That's the big thing, and limit our mistakes. We limit our mistakes, we're fine. And that wrapped it up for Tiny Day. We ended up runner-up in our pool, but I wish they could have went a little bit better. I think we've got runner-up trophies the last 3 years.
I believe you're correct.
I'm tired of seeing runner-up plaques. We got to find a way to get the big one.
Speaking of the Tiny Day tournament, and you mentioned how you have to go right into the district tournament right after that, how much do you think playing the Tiny Day tournament this close to the district tournament benefits you, or does it benefit you?
I mean, it benefits you just because you get to see a little bit different pitching. A lot of the pitchers, I think, grew up in Polk County. They've played 20 games, and she's already got over 100 strikeouts on the season. So, I mean, seeing her, I mean, we hit her pretty decent when we did. We either hit it or we struck out. It was pretty much came down to that. But and it ain't much different pitching than what we see besides a girl from Unicoi County. I mean, it's all been about the same. A girl from Granger, she could spin it pretty well, and we saw Crockett's 2 and 3. Crockett's 2 is pretty good. She reminds me a lot of her body type of Kat Osterman that used to play at Texas. Long and lanky. And she's just a sophomore. She's going to be a pretty good one too. And then, but Tiny Day, it helps you get ready for your district tournament.
And speaking of districts, you jump right into a district game with South Green on Monday, and you lose that one 10-3. Again, looking at errors, you cut it down a little bit, though. You only have 2 errors in that game. Just weren't able to hit the ball against South Green in that one. Tell me the story of that game on Monday.
I mean, it just came down, they hit the ball, we didn't. And when we did put the ball in play, it seemed like they didn't have to move forward. It went right to them. I'm going to have to check Amy and see what kind of ball she has, match the magnets in the gloves or something. But it seemed like everything we hit was right to somebody. I mean, we easily because at the time, I think in the 5th, it was 10-1. I mean, we easily could have gave up that run to get run ruled, but we found a way to scratch and claw and keep playing all 7 innings, which that's like I went over with the girls today, especially seniors. I think our first year we had 17 games. I think we got run ruled, I think 11 or 12 of them. And it was about the same the next year. Last year we was 2 plays from having a winning record last year, and we got run ruled 10 times. This year we've only been run ruled 3 times, and one of them went all 7 innings against Unicor the second time around. So I'm like, we're playing more competitive ball. We just got to find a way to finish those games.
Moving into Thursday, you suffer a loss to Cherokee to wrap up our recap. 10-4 in that one, and you go to the box score again, and you look at it's like you were talking about errors. 5 of them in that game. More errors than runs, and that's always a problem in softball.
I mean, going into the bottom of the 6th, we're down 4-3. I have a couple errors, and they tack on 6. If we find a way to get out of that bottom of that 6 without giving anything up, we come in the top of the 7th tied up. And that's another team that's in Greenville's region, and they've had competitive games with them throughout the whole region. So we can play with those. We got to find a way to finish those games.
That puts a cap on the recap portion of it. We'll go ahead and go into the second half, preview what's next for the West Green Lady Bus. But first, before we do that, we need to get a word in from our sponsors first. So we'll be right back after these messages here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.
For over 30 years, Tommie's Plumbing has proudly served the Tri-Cities with a personal touch, because we're not just plumbers, we're family. From simple faucet repairs to full plumbing repiping, we have the experience and expertise to get the job done right. We also specialize in water heater and tankless water heater installations, helping you find the perfect solution for your home. Our technicians stand behind their work and always leave your space clean and spotless. Looking for a plumber who's fast, professional, and reliable? Call Tommie's Plumbing and let our family take care of yours.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect. Games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greenville, expect the unexpected. Low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at GatewayNissanGreenville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greenville.
Welcome back to First Horizons Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Tommie's Plumbing, Haun, and Sauce Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the West Green Buffaloes and Lady Buffaloes.
OJ.
I talk about how I can't get through an intro when we do 2 separate parts of this show. Well, last week's show, we actually went the whole entire show without getting an appearance from Jay Early. Of course, when I try to go through an intro and I tell you in the break, I'm going to get this one this time. I'm going to lock in. I'm going to do good this time. Jay Early.
Leave it to Jay. Hey, cheer up, boys. It's almost Friday, except it's Monday.
It's Monday, so
hey,
each minute grows closer to Friday.
We're closer to Friday than we was 5 minutes ago.
That is true. And looking at the games that you've got ahead, also, I actually have a game out here this afternoon as Happy Valley travels down and you host the Lady Warriors today at 5 o'clock. We're running through this interview to make sure that you get everything prepared for that game later on. So I know it's fresh on your mind, just a few hours away. What can we expect in that one?
They got their pitcher's pretty good. She fills the strike zone up pretty well, so we got to go make solid contact, hit it where they're not, and go play solid defense. I think the last time we played them, we had a couple errors, and I think they ended up having, it was 2 or 3 unearned runs. We ended up winning 14-4. But it was one of those, it shouldn't have been that close. When we had times that we had counts, we was up in counts, and we went chasing and stuff and kind of helped them out. We got to be patiently aggressive in the box. We got to be attacking our pitch in their zone and swinging at strikes. Now we get too on the span a little bit, but we got to play our type of ball. We can't go out there and play their game.
And then traveling to North Green tomorrow for a game with the Lady Huskies on Tuesday. What's the plan whenever you travel to Baylerton tomorrow?
Same thing every time. Play solid defense, put the ball in play. Whatever happens, happens. You make more plays than they do, you have a better chance of winning.
And I know you take that first game from North Green earlier in the season. A little bit of a different team that they have this time. So how are you going to go into that game adjusting to the team that you saw the first time? I mean, it was so early into the season that even if they did have those players, it's a completely different team now than it was then. So how do you adjust seeing a team so early into the season at the end of March to now at the end of April?
Well, you go out there and make the outs they give you. Make a couple and just go play, have fun. I mean, this is a kid's game, and you get to play it as young adolescent adults. I mean, just go have fun. Not everybody gets to do it. Enjoy the time you got when you're doing it. Go have fun. I've always said when you have fun, you get results.
And then hosting Greenville on Thursday, a team that I watched on Friday catching fire a little bit here at the end of the regular season. So when the Lady Devils travel here to Mosheim to play on Thursday, how do you stop that hot offensive attack?
That's the same thing. Make the outs they give you. Limit your mistakes. I mean, I don't think there's any secret equation on to beating anybody. It's just you got to make the outs they give you, limit your mistakes, and go hit the ball. You don't hit the ball, you can't win.
That's true. And then Friday, wrap up the regular season as we flip the calendar from April to May, and you finish with a home game here against Cosby. Is that senior night?
That is senior night.
Okay, so a little bit more of a special day. So maybe I'll get a different answer on this one, because I'm going to ask about senior night itself instead of how are you going to beat a team, how are you going to limit an attack. So on Friday, when it's senior night, how special of a day will that be for the two seniors?
It's the last time they'll get to play here at the Stash, Reese Bard Field. We got two of them. They've been here since I've been here, and they're part of the reason why we've been able to kind of change the program around a little bit. We're not the same program that, we're going to play West Green, we got an easy one. Oh, we got to go play now. And they've been major cornerstones of that. Right now, they're the winningest senior class since I don't know when. Right now, they got 24 wins. Hopefully, we can add a couple more on to that. And then hopefully the juniors coming up next year can surpass that, because they didn't have to go through that 0-17 season. But now Alexis Cutshaw and Aubrey Everett, I think they both played middle infield from freshman on till now. So I mean, they got a lot of games together. It'll definitely be weird not seeing them out there last year, which I said that about last year's group, and it started the season, it was weird not seeing them out there. You get so accustomed to seeing them out there, seeing them every day, it has a weird feeling about it for a little bit. But then you always have another group comes in. I ain't gonna say they take their place, but you create them other bonds with those new girls that come in, and it just keeps going. It's just a cycle. You wish you could keep them all the time, but they got 4 years and then they got to go.
And then with Cosby on Friday too, of course, you always want to get a win on senior night. How more special is it whenever you do pick up a win on senior night?
A lot, especially when it's your last time getting to play on your home field. I just hope it ain't a marathon game like it was
at Cosby.
Yeah. Golly, that game took forever. That game, I think, took 3 hours and 45 minutes. I think we could have played 7 innings of baseball quicker than that.
You could have played a double. You did play a doubleheader at Johnson
We
County.
played a doubleheader at Johnson County, 45 less minutes, and it took us to play 8 innings at Cosby. But now, granted, the umpire strike zone was a lot better. I mean, but it was more pitcher friendly than hitter friendly, and that makes a big difference depending on who's calling, what their zone is. Especially depends on what kind of pitchers you have. If you got pitchers just throw fastball and throwing it in there, but if you got pitchers throwing breaking balls and stuff, sometimes you ain't gonna get those calls, even though you think it is. They don't sit the same way. But I mean, it's all a matter of opinion. Everybody's got one. You could have 50 people looking at the same thing. They're all gonna have a different outcome of it. We just gotta go play, have fun, and send these seniors out on a high note.
We're hearing AC/DC's TNT up on the baseball field right now. That's when you know that it's about time for baseball at the Buddy. What's the first song that comes on here when you know there's about to be softball at the Stash?
It's whatever them girls play. It's untelling.
Is there a certain playlist that starts out with a certain song every time, or is it always random?
No, it's just kind of random. I think they put it on like Spotify or Pandora or something like that. You never know what they're going to play. Sometimes I try to tune it out.
I worked 3 years as a bat boy at the Greenville Astros, and you knew when the gates opened because an hour before every game they had a playlist that would run, and the song Center Field would start playing as soon as the gates opened. So I always kind of resonate the beginning of when you know it's about time for the game to be played when you hear certain songs. I think up there at West Green, it's always when AC/DC comes on. I believe that's all we got this week. Got anything else? Hey, Cowboys had a big draft steal on Thursday.
I think it's the first time, and I don't know how long we haven't drafted an offensive lineman in the first round. Which there's nothing wrong with drafting an offensive lineman, but
A lot of them
when
have
your
worked out.
defensive lineman, when your defense is last in the league, you've got to address some issues.
And they did.
And they're switching from a 4-3 to a 3-4. So right now we're kind of overhauling the defensive line and linebacker core, try to get those players to fit that scheme. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see come football season. We just had a middle of a road defense last year. I think we're a playoff team.
Is Quinnen Williams returning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Kenny Clark. I think they'll bump them out to the ends, and they'll try to bring a Vince Wilfork top in to play the nose. They can get two of those, rotate in. One about 330 and another about 305, just to kind of have a little speed edge to it. I think our linebacking core will be all right. Say the secondary is what's our Achilles heel.
Yeah.
I mean, of course they got Caleb Downs. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Go on record. I think he'll be a bust, but
Really? I'm really high
I
on
think
him.
he's been a product of who he's played with, not how he plays.
He has been very fortunate. I think he's one of those players. He's played in, well, now that there's a 12-team playoff, it's not as rare anymore, but he played in
I think he's been in
the
every
playoff
playoff.
every year that he's played, but he went from Alabama to 2 years at Ohio State, and he was in a good situation everywhere he went.
But I mean, I feel like I said, I think there's a reason why he left Bama. I mean, you want to be drafted in the first round, I mean, you pretty much go to your Bama, your Ohio State, and I think there was a reason why he left Alabama to go to Ohio State, because he may have got passed up.
It's incredible looking at that Ohio State defense and what they pushed out in this year's first round. It's really impressive. And what's even more impressive is the fact that Miami put 24 on them in the playoffs.
I'm interested in seeing how that kid from Miami, that Bain, how he
Ruben Bain.
does. Because yeah, about every one of them stopped at the mirror, put their hat on. He just grabbed it and kept going. I think he's on a mission, to be honest with you.
He'll be an interesting one too, because a lot of people weren't high on him because they like to talk about how he has the shortest arms of, I don't know the exact stat, it's like shortest arms of any projected first round since so and so year, but
He kind of reminds me a little bit of Michael Sam. He was built about the same.
yeah,
And he didn't. I mean, his career didn't turn out, but I mean,
there were a lot of extra
yes.
reasons why his didn't.
But I mean, but his build, he kind of reminds me of that. But I think he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder.
I'd like to see how a lot of the defensive players end up in this year's draft, because there weren't very many can't miss offensive talents in this year's draft. It was a lot of defense, and I like that.
Yeah, they say defense wins championships.
Exactly. When you've got players like Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Ruben Bain, and players like that in this year's draft.
I'm actually excited to see, Malik Lawrence that we picked up, the defense end from UCF. I'm kind of excited because they'll probably move him to that outside linebacker, edge rusher type of role. So I'm kind of excited to see that. Like I said, I mean, we've got a Super Bowl caliber offense. We just got to have defense go with it.
Speaking of Super Bowl, is it crazy Jalen Milroe is the Super Bowl champion? Doesn't matter how you win one. As long as you win one, you win one.
You get a ring, you get a ring.
You get a ring, you get a ring. It don't matter if you're third string, second string, starter, practice squad. If they give you one, you run with it.
That's like I got a friend.
You don't question it.
He works for the Atlanta Falcons in their IT department. He's got an NFC championship ring.
That's nice.
So, I mean,
Coach, that's all we got this week. We've got athletes rolling in right now. Got about an hour and a half till game time. Go out there and get a win today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Tommie's Plumbing, Haun, and Sauce Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.